This is the seventh Hyde 900 community dig which we're running this year, and it'll be going back to some of the places we've dug before, but equally we've got a couple of new gardens where we hope in particular to be finding the refectory and reinforcing where we found last year, which was the 12th century culvert.
Can't ask the Queen a question.
No.
She has to ask you a question. And she said, which seat do you represent? And I said, Winchester. She said, oh wow, I've been there many times, it's a place of great history. And I said, yes, we're trying to find King Alfred. So you were mentioned in dispatches when I met Her Majesty. So yeah, it's a pleasure to open your dig this year. And may you find many exciting things that make us all very rich and very famous.
Evidence for rooms. I mean, for instance, down here we found evidence for the abbot's palace.
What they would call a new context.
Does it curve down, or is it?
It's very difficult to say. For coming to dig in Richard Osgood's garden. I'm sure he's going to be really pleased that you're digging it up for him. He, out of interest, he is the MOD archaeologist. What we're going to be is we're going to be archaeologists for the time that you'll be here. Okay, and archaeologists work in a particular sort of way, which is when we go down, we always go flat. We're going to use a trowel and you're going to be scraping away like this. If you see something really, really interesting, I would love you to stick it in this tray. I've got mattock and I've got trowels.
Yeah, 19th century, most of these highly decorated ones.
It's a bit of slate.
Yes.
Just trying to get this darker stuff off it. And I would suggest that you work left to right. Maybe a couple of you could work in here. But very
Known as a cast copper alloy double looped annular buckle.
We're now at the midpoint of the dig, and we found medieval floor levels and 3 of the 5 trenches. In addition, it's produced some very good finds, in particular an encaustic tile of the pattern that we know and is in Winchester Cathedral.
Some bit of architectural pillar bit, some here flank a wall. I wouldn't say it's mullion.
Up to now we've just been removing hard stuff that was really where they dug out the foundations for the houses, but we're now down to this sort of 60 centimetre level, and we're now getting medieval Abbey rubble basically.
bits stop the lattice falling apart. We have plastic ones nowadays.
So we don't know what this is. It could be associated with a toilet in there. The colour's just wrong. So it's not organic-y enough, and it's not green enough, and it's not smelly enough.
We have a basic field guide, which is very brief, and this enables me pedantically to fill in contact sheets, what the soil was, what was contained in the soil and so on, and its relationship with other layers. And then down here we have a more detailed relationship with other things around it.
So there's a point on the end. What we don't want on the end is your eye or somebody else's eye. Okay? So it's a bit of a pain to put back in, and it causes lots of paperwork.
Absolutely, the west front of the Abbey is...
And it's got to stop before that stream.
Yeah, absolutely right. So
Very
you've
well.
got the width of this.
No, I've got one side here, and it projects under your feet.
The kitchen has got to be separate from the other buildings, otherwise it might set them on fire. You don't want to be too far because the food's got to arrive hot.
And you've got the, do you reckon that is kind of part of the sort of waterproofing string course of the slates in there that we got in the section? It may not be in situ, but
No,
it's,
I
it's
think
part of that, was that
because it was on
destroyed rubble.
Yeah, I think it was demolition.
Yeah.
We were investigating the wall initially because that came up yesterday, and we thought the wall was flint faced because there's quite a lot of flint at the back here by the section. They don't feel like proper floor tiles, they feel like roof tiles.
So those two walls are obviously wrong. Then it would make the garth go at least further south.
Well, it would square up the garth. So is this wall not the outer wall but the inner wall?
And it's a 1750 George II farthing.
One end, at the south end here, we've got a robbed out wall, which is interesting and nice to see. We've also got this row of architectural stone. You can see there are enormous flints, and they came right up to below the level of these architectural stones.
So this test pit, we had bits of Bridewell Prison in it. We had some foundations to Bridewell Prison and some strange cut feature. It was quite late. What I'm stood on and now trying to expose looks like Abbey wall. It's this hard packed surface. This is wall. What I don't know at the moment is if it's running that way or if it's running that way.
The Hyde 900 2023 community dig closes with over 200 volunteers of all ages having taken part over the 4 days of the dig. Finds include many fragments of medieval tiles and pottery from Anglo-Saxon to Victorian. The dig established that the refectory in the south range of the cloisters is 10 metres wider than previously thought, with a width of over 22 metres. In addition, the foundations discovered that the west end of the Abbey church suggests that the church was even longer than previously thought, at around 130 metres overall. Volunteers will continue processing this year's finds, which will add to the story of the Abbey. The results will of course be posted on our Hyde 900 website and social media.